Hey everyone, let's take a look at the solutions for the model-based definition, the SolidWorks sample CSWP MBD exam. So the first question here is to open the file AAQ0001.SLDPRT. So I'm going to open that part file first. And the question says, what feature does the distance between 22 measure between? And as you can see, once you open the part file, it has all the dimensions and tolerances with everything, the geometrical tolerances attached to it. So sometimes, instead of trying to figure out where this distance between 22 is, if you switch to the DMExpert manager, and basically the thing is that you just have to keep on expanding each of these annotations and try to figure out where is this distance between 22 measure is. Or alternatively, you can right click on the annotations and I believe there is an option. Okay, so when you right click on the file name and say tree display, so by default it shows the feature based tree, but if you say show annotation based tree, then you can get all the annotations here listed and then it's sometimes easier to see where is this distance between 22 is indicated. So distance between 22, as you know, you can just figure it out here, all these distances, as you can note from this symbol here. So the distance between 22, you can see right here. And if you expand it, it says this is the distance measured between plane 46 and plane 50. Okay, so if I click here, that's how. So this is plane 46, plane 50, and so these two flat faces, that's basically what the distance is being measured. So the answer is obviously plane 46 and plane 50, which is this F option. All right. So that's the question number one. And so now let's move on to the question number two. Let me resize it. So the question two says to unzip this file, the zip folder, and you would notice there are two files. One is the camera support SLDPRT, and the other one is the load notes. So getting the notes loaded in your SolidWorks is very important. And so first, let me go ahead and open the camera support SLDPRT. So this is the file that you have once you unzip this folder, and as you can see, it asks for the feature recognition. Just click no to it. It's an imported file. Let me resize it. Okay, so now we need to load the nodes. And how do we load the nodes here? If I go to the MBD, it's not really by default the auto dimensions are generated. So let me not worry too much about it right now. I'm going to load the nodes first because it asks me to determine the default profile tolerance for the features without the geometrical tolerances. So the features that do not have the geometric tolerances, what is the default profile tolerance for those features is the question. So for this, I'm going to go to the design library. Under the design library, just click on this design library. And at the top here, click on create new folder. And I'm going to name this folder the way I want. And so I'm just going to say MBD sample exam notes something. I mean, you can name this folder, whatever way that you want to name it. And so now in this folder, we want to store these notes so that we can open them on the graphics here. So I'm going to right click and say, open the folder. Otherwise, it will be a little bit difficult to navigate to it. So once you right click on it and say open folder, then you can immediately see this folder is being opened. And then from the other folder where you have downloaded, those part file and the notes file, I'm just simply going to transfer it to this, or you can copy and paste. It doesn't really matter. So once you've transferred that file into that newly created folder that you have, I'm going to go back again. And once I now click on this folder, you will see the notes appear here. I'm going to simply click and drag it to the graphics area. And here you will see the information that features with no geometric tolerance have a profile tolerance of plus minus 0.12. Okay, so that's what the question is. What is the default profile tolerance for features with no geometric tolerances? And the answer is plus minus 0.12. That's how we can load the nodes. Okay. Another thing while we are at this point here, so if I try to turn this object, the nodes also keep moving along with it, right? So if you want to fix these nodes at that location itself, then you need to right click on the nodes and say select annotation view, unassigned items. Currently it's unassigned. That is why it says unassigned items. So if I click on it, you get some different options. If you had multiple views created in the MBD DIM Expert Manager, you would have seen those options populated here, but currently we don't have any other views created. So I'm just going to say click on the notes area. If I click it on the notes area, it gets pasted here on the notes area. And now even if we move this model, those nodes will be staying on the graphics and they won't move with the model irrespective of the orientation of this part file. Okay, so that's the question number 2. Next question is the distance that we need to figure out, or distance 3 and its default tolerance. So distance 3 is the length between the axis of the hole, as you can see here, and the midplane created by the two opposing highlighted faces. So these two flat faces on the each end. Okay, so let me go ahead and first open this part file, which is HHQ0008. Let me close this one first and open the HHQ08. That's the file. I'm going to say no to the feature recognition one more time. So now if I move to the MBD tab here, I'm going to say location dimension. And what I'm going to do is first click on this cylindrical face. Okay. And then click on the intersection plane. That's the intersection. I'm sorry, no, I don't think you need to click on the intersection plane here. All right, so just let's click on this cylindrical face, and then I'm going to click on first flat face here, and you can see there is a width feature. So I'm going to click on the width feature, click on the other side's flat face. Okay, and then I'm going to click on the check mark, and so that is how we end up getting this distance between the middle point of those two flat faces using the width feature and the axis of this. So if I place this dimension here, so you note the answer as 2.26 plus minus 0.18. Okay. So 2.26 plus minus 0.18. And so you can see the answer listed here, which is the answer A. And that's the question 3. Question 4. Image is to be used to answer the question 4. And we need to download and open this file now. mmq0013. So let me go ahead and open that. And we need to determine which node is not assigned to the notes area annotation view. If I switch to the Dimension Expert Manager, just click on it and auto dimension scheme. We need to select the primary datum, secondary datum, and tertiary datum in order to have these dimensions assigned. But if I don't want to do that at this point, I'm just going to cancel out of that. You'll see the annotations folder is there, so I'm going to expand it. And then you will see the notes, unassigned items, and the front view is also already default, created by default there when we open the file. So determine which node is not assigned to the notes area annotation view. So if I click on the notes area and if I activate it, okay, so I can move these nodes slightly to the top. Okay, and so the question is, which of these nodes is not assigned to the notes area annotation view? And in the notes area, when I right clicked and clicked on activate, then I could see these 3 nodes, which are A, B, and C. So obviously this node D is not been created in the notes area. So just a few moments ago in the previous question, when we try to turn this object around or change its orientation, we don't see these nodes moved at all. And so these nodes are in the nodes area section, and we don't see this node D as indicated in that nodes area. And so the answer for this question should be D. Okay, so the rest of the questions are the multiple choice questions, and the answers to these questions are again provided here, so you can take a look at it. Some of these questions are pretty intuitive, and once you work on this MBD, you will obviously be able to answer these questions. And so that's it. That's all for this video. Thanks.